So in Halo 2 on the mission Quarantine Zone, there is a separate human gondola that's not accessible to players. What's on this gondola? Where does it go? What happens to it? Is it even possible to get onto it alive? Well, let's give it a shot! So before I get into the logistics of how I plan on reaching this human gondola, we need to know why exactly the human gondola is there. So on this mission, you play as the Arbiter. Basically, the Covenant and the humans, or the UNSC, are racing to get to the Index. If you're not familiar, the Index is located within the so-called library of every single Halo installation. Basically, the activation index, when activated, allows the activator to operate the installation's most critical systems. So basically, if you reach the Index first, you're the one that gets the big powerful boom super weapon. And on the mission Quarantine Zone, there are two gondolas, like I said earlier, the human gondola and the Covenant gondola. But the problem with the human gondola is they won the race. This gondola starts out far ahead of where the Covenant gondola starts. And, well, it's moving like most gondolas do. So this puts us at an automatic disadvantage. I would have to somehow find a way to launch to a moving gondola that happens to be about a couple thousand feet away from the other gondola. And then, somehow, I was going to have to figure out a way to live while doing it. But I had an idea. In Halo 2, there's a glitch called the Dead or Alive. But basically, if done successfully, this glitch enables you to have one player in your game that is both dead and technically alive. They'll be able to see and look around, but their player model is physically a dead body. To do this, you have to have one player stick another player with a plasma grenade without shooting or throwing any extra grenades. After you do this, you need to quickly retreat into the cave just behind where you spawn. If you consistently swing your sword, the second player won't spawn in. If you head to this little gap where this structure meets the cave, you can nuzzle into the corner, crouch, and then stand back up, and the second player's prompt to respawn will completely disappear. If this is done successfully, all you have to do is restart the mission. Then, you just need to stick the same player again with a plasma grenade and stand back. Once this is done, all you have to do is wait in this beginning area for a checkpoint. Once this checkpoint is triggered, all you need to do is have one player stick another player so that they die. If you do this successfully, one of two things will happen. Either both players will be merged into the same body, or your second player will spawn in. This didn't work the first time, so I had to do it again. Now, the Dead or Alive glitch is really cool and really applicable for a lot of things. You can pretty much explore any part of Quarantine Zone using this glitch. So here is an unedited clip of me doing it over again, but successfully. Now, the reason we need to wait for a checkpoint is pretty simple. If this does work, we need to revert to the previous checkpoint so that the player that's dead isn't stuck in that state. We'll need to get them to the end of the mission on the gondola. Now, there are two scenarios that will happen. If the player that has been killed twice kills the other player, they'll be merged into the same body. Even if this happens, you'll know you have done this successfully. This is because the player merge and the Dead or Alive are part of the same glitch. The way to switch this so that you're not player merged and a player is a dead body is to simply have the player that killed the previous player twice kill them a third time. When doing this, the second player's body will fly away, but will eventually spawn back right near you, but they'll be dead. After confirming that I did the Dead or Alive glitch successfully, I reverted to the last checkpoint, and now my goal became getting the second player in the Dead or Alive body to the gondola later in the mission. Obviously, as you guys could see, if this player dies, they become a dead body. And I wasn't about to transport a dead body all the way across the map. In order to launch this player, I would need to pick up rockets to use for later. If you take your vehicle into the second section of this mission, there is a rocket that always spawns near a Warthog. After picking this up, I just needed to successfully make it to the gondola section of the mission. In order to remain in their state, the Dead or Alive player has to live through the entire mission, including the cutscene. Now, I used the second player that wasn't in the Dead or Alive state to make it to the end of the mission. The load points that you hit while progressing through this mission are always in safe spots, so that means you don't even need to move the other player, you just need to make it to the end of the mission. After triggering the cutscene, my goal was to see how far could I actually get a dead and alive player. Would it even hypothetically be enough to make it to the gondola? Right after the gondola cutscene ended, I killed my second player and threw a plasma grenade just behind them and tried to shoot a rocket roughly at the time that the plasma grenade was exploding. What I found was the first initial attempt was pretty promising. My second player made it almost all the way to the gate where the human gondola goes through the wall. So with this first attempt, I was already ready to get this set up. I pushed my player to the right front side of the platform just above the glass panel. I need to go from this side to get a clear shot at the human gondola. After getting this player set up, I then threw a bunch of grenades using the Streaking Skull and Black Eye Skull. Doing this allows you to get up to double overshields, and I was going to need some health because I didn't know how big I was going to need to make this explosion. Now, after you enter the first room of the library, you will get an automatic checkpoint. I would just need to dial in exactly how much explosiveness I needed to get to that gondola. After about 10 attempts of throwing a grenade and then shooting a rocket at the same time, I found that there wasn't any consistency with the aim really, and in order to catch this human gondola, I was going to need to be very accurate and very timely. For this reason, I decided to see if I could just launch this player using rockets. Surprisingly, my first attempt using only the rockets, I was able to get through 2 of the columns and nearly make it to the gondola. But this gave me an idea. If I could shoot the dead player directly through the 2 columns that are obstructing the human gondola, I would have a direct path to potentially land right on it. Ooh, I'm actually looking really good. And, that's not solid. Ooh, I think I'm gonna miss. Oh, come on. Ah. Damn. That was awful. So after a while of trying to launch my second player without any consistency and basically just trying to get lucky, I decided that if I was actually going to be able to pull this off, I would need to dial this in a little bit more precisely. In my previous attempts, I kept hitting the leftmost column. Obviously, the trajectory of getting a player from one gondola to the other through a small little gap meant there wasn't a lot of room for error, but I needed to get scientific and start making micro adjustments. So my logic for this was pretty simple. I was going to try to shoot the player at the exact same time on the gondola ride every time. Before, I was just shooting whenever, and typically I was shooting very early on in the gondola ride, which led to another problem. The human gondola is really fast, and if you do this too far away, your dead body doesn't have the chance to physically hit it before it goes into the next section of the library. So my plan was to shoot this player just in between the 2 light posts right after you pass the 2 platforms. Oh shit, oh shit. Oh, I bounced off of it. Immediately, I found out my new method was almost perfect. I missed this gondola by a few feet on my very first attempt with this new strategy. Through the hole. falling. I don't know if he's gonna fall fast enough. Oh my gosh. Ooh, this might be really good. Oh, just missed it. Hit the wall, hit the wall, fall, fall. Oh. Ooh, hit the wall, hit the wall. Come on, come on. Boosh! That's how it's done, gentlemen. Alright, now I've spawned a second player here. Boom! I landed him on the second gondola. Now we see where it goes. Pretty sweet thus far. Okay, let's see where the chamber to nothingness goes. Could be sweet. What's gonna happen? Oh, it just disappears. So even though the human gondola technically beat the Covenant gondola to the index at the end of the mission, the game developers did a little trickery and the gondola never actually makes it there. After it goes into this chamber room, it just completely disappears. I wanted to see what would happen if I hit my dead player through the wall, and what I found out was hitting them through the wall enters them back into the previous chamber, so you can explore the entire library uninhibited. Okay, hit them through the wall. Now I want to see where they end up. Oh, you're just back in the chamber. Wow, this is freaking huge. I always love how they swing their arms even though they're dead. What happens if I send someone back into that hole? This just becomes, oh wait, you can go down further. It looks like it was a bomb went off, there was a fire or something. So at this point, I wanted to go back and explore the tunnel that the human gondola originates from. Okay, now I'm just walking all the way back through the tunnel. Can't get through here. Wait, this is all the bigger the room is. They block it off. Wait, you can't get up here. Can't see what the hell's happening. How far does this go back? It's completely dark in the anniversary graphics. It's trippy. I can't even really see where the hell I'm going. It's easier just to look behind so you can get a reference. What is this spiraling texture, dude? It's tripping me out. Oh, there's the end of it. I need to turn around. This is disorienting. What the f... Did I just trigger a cutscene by going all the way back here? Unless the gondola just now arrived. That seems like a really, really long time though. It was like 8 minutes since I got to the gondola. So initially I thought that going back in this tunnel triggered a checkpoint, but I'm assuming it took this long for the elites on the gondola to actually kill the flood. It's so far away. I was able to nearly make it to the end of the tunnel, and then I accidentally killed myself with a grenade. I just killed myself. That's really unfortunate. I went back in a separate session, and what I found was this tunnel actually extends all the way to the other side of the gondola before it leaves. So what you see immediately after the cutscene isn't the actual structure in the game. I have no idea why they set the tunnel back so far, but hey, Bungie doing Bungie things. No way, I did it!